Let's talk about child identity theft, a pretty serious problem, a pretty sensitive problem too, that you as a parent need to really care about big time, okay? So, how do you protect your child? How do you help protect your child? Let's have a conversation about that. So, let me give you a few hard truths. If your child, God forbid, is getting pre approved credit card offers in the mail, you both may have a problem. Not just your child, but also you, the parent. You may have a problem of child identity theft. So, in today's conversation, I will explain to you what to do to help protect your child against identity theft, the steps to take if your child becomes a victim, and how basically you can actually use tools, to actually protect, to safeguard your family's personal information. So, let's first talk about child identity theft. What is it really? So, child identity theft happens when someone steals a minor's personal information and uses that data fraudulently to open credit accounts, take out loans, apply for government benefits, or aim at other nefarious ends. So, child identity theft often begins with a stolen social security number or birth certificate, which the thief actually uses to build a credit file over several years, essentially creating a false identity. Okay, that's really big. It's really serious here. So while children, especially children under the age of 7, can be easy targets for identity theft, perhaps because their widespread use of social media can easily expose their personal info, they are among the least likely cohort to report incidents of identity fraud. And that discrepancy really could be because many victims, this is what the research has shown, many victims of child identity theft know the perpetrators, which can make reporting the fraud complicated and fraught. Okay, and furthermore, when children are victimized by identity fraud, it can be really difficult. Think about it. It can be really difficult for them to know what happened because piling debts and credit damage may not be discovered until the child reaches adulthood and applies for their first loan or a credit card. So what are the signs of a child identity theft? Well, you receive pre-approved credit card offers in the mail. You are denied government benefits. You receive a notice from the IRS, okay? Or you get calls and letters from calling letters about unpaid bills. Let me talk to you about risk mitigation here. How do you protect yourself against child identity theft this year? Well, knowing how to spot the red flags is only half the battle, really. Identity thieves actively seek a child's personal info, especially a social security number. So when it comes to protecting your child against identity theft, reducing the risk by limiting the exposure of personal info is really a must. Okay, let me give you a few other hacks, a few other procedures you can implement this day. Okay, to really make sure that you are really shielding your child from identity theft. You want to safeguard your child's social security number. Everything starts from there. Your child SSN. So avoid sharing your child's SSN whenever possible. If an organization or let's say individual requests your child SSN, always ask why they need it, and check whether it's possible to use a different identifier instead, because your child SSN actually is the cornerstone of his or her identity. And when you actually, if the company wants you to give their social security number, just disclose the last 4 digits. It's also important to scrutinize privacy policies and ask how they will keep your child's personal info secure, because you don't want your child's data to be on the dark web because the company was hacked and all data was stolen. Okay, so first thing you want to do, you want to safeguard your child's social security number. Next, you want to store sensitive info in a secure place. Very important also. What I mean by that is you want to keep documents with your child's personally identifiable information in a secure place. So a locked filing cabinet can be useful for storing papers such as medical reports and bills, insurance policies, and other documents that contain your child's sensitive info. And other documents such as birth certificates, passports, and social security card actually should be kept in a secure locations too, such as a safety deposit box or locked safe. That's what you want. You want to really buttress security around your child's personally identifiable information, your child's PII. Next, you want to shred sensitive documents before discarding them. So again, I'm speaking to you about hacks you can really implement today to prevent child identity theft in your family. Okay, you want to really shred sensitive documents before discarding them. Always shred, and this is a big sort of policy that you need to really implement in your life right now. Right now, always shred documents with the child personal information before throwing them away. And the thing is, if you don't have a shredder, because not everybody has a shredder, you want to look for a local shredding service in your area where you can take your papers to drop off locations and have them shredded for free. They shred them for free. Nobody's going to charge you like big bills, whatever, to shred your documents. And some banks and businesses also offer shredding services. Next thing you want to do is you want to consider placing a phrase on your child's credit report, okay? Because your child doesn't need to apply for credit cards or loans anyways, okay? So if your child is under the age of 16, contact each of the major credit reporting agencies, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax to actually place a credit lock or freeze on their credit report. And this freeze prevents the credit reporting agency from actually releasing your child's credit report to third parties. And that's what you want, because you do not want them to give your child's data to those third parties. And so when you have a freeze, that's really the best way to really prevent any kind of shenanigans, if you will. And so they do not. So Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax will not release your child's credit report to third parties. And so a credit freeze or a credit lock also prevents anyone from opening a credit account in your child's name. I'm speaking about the credit card, loan, line of credit, or have you. Okay. So this is important, but you got to really do these things. This is not like you do one procedure, that's it. No, you have to do more than one. So for instance, you want to safeguard your child's social security number. You want to store sensitive information in a secure place. You want to shred also, like simultaneously. You want to always keep in mind that you want to shred sensitive documents before discarding them. And you want to consider placing, again, a phrase on your child's credit report. If you want to really prevent child identity theft, you also want to delete personal information before disposing of a computer or a cell phone. See, the thing is that computer or cell phone is actually a repository of data. It's actually a minefield. Okay, you have a lot of data there. Your data, your personal data as a parent, but also your data as a family, including your child's personally identifiable information. So what you want to do is you want to really make sure that you clean it, quote unquote, clean it before actually discarding it. Okay, so any computer or phone from your household can contain personal information about your child. So when you are upgrading or replacing a device, make sure you fully remove all personal information by restoring to default factory settings before selling, donating, or recycling it. Okay, that's really important because it really creates an extra layer of, let's say, protection around your child's data. Next, you also want to educate your child about online safety. I mean, nowadays we have children who have Facebook accounts. Children being 5 or 6 or 7 having a Facebook account, having an Instagram account, a TikTok account. So you got to really talk to them. You can't prevent that. They are going to create accounts on those social media platforms anyway. So it's up to you to really step up the let's say the prevention, the education of the child, so the child understand what online safety really is about. So teach your child about the dangers of giving out personal information. Okay, consider certain rules about what information shouldn't be shared online or on social media, and help your child set strong passwords on all his or her accounts and devices. You can also set boundaries about actually not giving out personal data by phone, text, or email without your permission, and discuss how to politely refuse a request actually for the whole conversation, for this conversation to happen. What you're trying to do here, you're trying to really educate your child. You're trying to really make sure the child understands the implications, and you want to make sure that the child can put himself or herself in your shoes and really make the same decision. In order to prevent identity theft, you want to also use identity theft protection services. The thing is that a lot of folks believe that identity theft protection services are only for adults. No, it's actually for those programs are designed to help your data from to prevent any identity theft, but also protect the whole family's data. So that's pretty good. So identity theft protection services, like those included in Aura or LifeLock family plans, are great tools to help monitor your child's online accounts, passwords, social security numbers, and other sensitive info for signs of identity theft. And membership actually is pretty good because it really protects your child over several years. Okay, and so that's really important. Now, what to do if your child, let's say, is a victim of identity theft this year? The thing is that, first of all, you got to ask yourself that you what kind of solutions you have in place, what kind of mitigants you have already in place. If you discover that your child's information has been misused to commit child identity theft, here is what I want you to do. First of all, you want to shut down the fraudulent account. You want to contact the businesses where your child's information was misused and ask them to close the fraudulent accounts. Be sure to keep proof of the suspected identity theft in the form of screenshots and also documentation. Ask the businesses for a written confirmation that they have closed the account and that your child is not responsible. Next, you want to check your child's credit report. Request a free credit report for your child so that you can see the fraudulent loan and credit history. Then contact the three major credit bureaus, and request a manual search of your child's file. That means what? It means that you are searching for files associated with your child's name, social security number, or both. Keep thorough records. Note the dates you made phone calls or mailed letters to the credit agencies, and keep copies of the letters you actually receive in return. That's important. So I'm showing you on the screen here an email template you can use to request a credit file and report the identity theft to the credit bureaus. You can see. So we're going to put the whole thing on the screen so you have a clear idea. So you have the dates, the credit bureau, either Experian or Equifax or TransUnion. You put the content, the body of the letter, and then you put some extra information. The next thing you want to do, you want to freeze your child's credit report. So immediately you want to request a credit freeze to make it harder for someone to open new accounts in your child's name. I'm talking about the credit cards, lines of credit. The freeze actually will stay in place until you tell the credit bureaus to remove it, to thaw it, if you will. At the same time, you want to ask each credit bureau to remove all information associated with your child's name and social security number. That includes a large area of data. You have all accounts are included, by the way. You have accounts inquiries, and also collection notices, and you need to provide the agencies with a copy of the Uniform Minors Status Declaration, which is actually available on the FTC website. I'm showing this to you on the screen here, so make sure you show this to the bureaus, okay? Next, you want to file fraud and identity theft reports with the FTC. So you want to contact the Federal Trade Commission directly to file a report about the fraudulent accounts created in your child's name and to create also an identity theft report. So to open the fraud account, you want to go to www.reportfraud.ftc.gov. I'm showing you on the screen what the page looks like, okay? And what you want to do afterwards is that you want to fill out an identity theft. So go to identitytheft.gov. There's another website for you to have, take a look at, okay? And you want to keep your family safer after that. You got to really think about having a service or a software tool to kind of help you actually protect your family, okay? And the thing is that protecting your child from identity theft can be overwhelming if you don't know where to start. So when you have the right plan, the right fraud prevention plan, you are able to receive alerts about your family members' social security numbers, names, addresses, or birth dates. So if there is any of those appears, let's say in a credit application, then you'll get a notice right away. And if the worst should happen, you are able to rely on a U.S.-based identity restoration specialist to help you in the recovery process. So when you think about child identity theft, I want you to really explain to you a few questions that a lot of folks ask about the whole process. Now, the thing is that why do identity thieves target children for identity theft? Well, because they are easy target. Okay, there are several reasons why children are targeted in identity theft schemes. An identity thief may decide to go after a child's identity because the theft often goes unnoticed for many years, giving them actually the fraudster more and more time to take advantage of the fraud. Children typically don't have credit reports in their name, and they don't generally apply for new loans or credit until they are older. So it can take years before a victim realizes their identity has been stolen. Okay. In addition, children actually tend to be heavy users for, let's say, heavy users of social media, which can really expose them further, expose their personal info, and leave them actually vulnerable to theft. And younger people may also be less likely to follow cybersecurity protocols than their older counterparts, which can lead, when you think about it, this can lead to increased risks associated with using software and apps that are not up to date. Okay, so how common is child identity theft? Pretty common. Okay, it's one of those things where you might be thinking, well, this will not happen to my child. No, it is very common. According to the Child Identity Fraud Report published every single year, nearly 1 million children were victims of child identity fraud in the previous year. And so you also have a research showing that children under the age of 7 were most likely to be victimized by ID theft and subsequent ID fraud. Okay, so that's the vulnerability I was talking to you about a little earlier. So more often than not, the perpetrator of the child identity theft is a parent, relative, other family member living in the same household, or someone else known to the victim. Because you want to, the fact that child identity theft is often perpetrated by a family member or someone else known to the victim makes the crime particularly unsettling, because reporting it actually can lead to an especially fraught situation for the child and their family. So this is something you need to really think about. So here's a quote I hear. When you think about child identity theft, what kind of, I spoke to you about the hard truths, the risk mitigation process, what to do, and also, and finally, what to actually put in place if your child is a victim of child identity theft. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.